Welcome guys, this is my another tutorial on how to make bootable El Capitan for your Hackintosh. In this video, there is some difference. In this video, I'm going to cover how to make a bootable El Capitan for those who are using an X99 chipset. It is not a whole different procedure, so I have included for a procedure guidance for those who are not on an X99 chipset, but I will tell you the difference for those who are on an X99 chipset. So let's start with it. So let me tell you the few basics things you're gonna need for this. The first thing is that you're gonna need a Unibase drive. You're gonna need an partition and a USB or a hard drive with 8 GB or more space, and you're gonna need an install OS X El Capitan application downloaded from App Store. This is from where you're gonna make a bootable USB for your X99 chipset or for those who are not on an X99 chipset. So let's start. The first thing you have to do is you have to open disk utility. Right now I'm using disk utility on 10.11.1, so it will be very different from those who are on Yosemite, Mavericks, or any older one. So here you can see it's my hard drive, it's 16 GB. Go to the partition, select and go to the partition, go to erase. There is a difference in Yosemite disk utility. So what you have to do is you have to select GUID partition map. So I name it Yosemite. Oh, sorry, El Capitan. So erase. It's working on it. It might take few seconds. It's an old hard drive with a 16 GB of space. I was not having a free disk. So done. So we are done with our formatting. Now you can see it's on OS X extended as we need. If it's not on OS X extended, you can do it from here, OS X extended. So what you have to do is then you have to go to Unibase. I have opened it here right in front of you, and my El Capitan drive is here. These are the 6 things you're gonna need, and with an El Capitan installer. So I'm on 6.0.0. Continue. It will guide you all the stuff. Continue. What you have to do is you have to select your destination drive. I've selected El Capitan. Next, there is only one installer in my application, so it is El Capitan. Continue. So now here's the difference. If you are going to use this on a legacy boot mode, which means if you are not going to use it on a UEFI motherboard, you have to select this. Right now I'm gonna select this for UEFI motherboard. Let's go continue. If you are on an old Intel HD drivers, Intel HD 3000, take this. Using ATI, click this. Using NVIDIA, which is not from GeForce, which are these 8000, 9000, 200, 400, and 610 and 630 series. Not for those who are on GTX 500, 600, 700. So let's continue. Just verify your all things. 3 of them matches. We continue. Waiting for this is gonna take long. Let's make it fast. So guys, we are done with our making of installer for bootable El Capitan. Right here you can see now that one hard drive becomes 2, and because it is on a GUID partition and it got an EFI here, you can see it is mounted already. Here it is the clever bootloader that is available, or that for which we made. So now we have to do some of basic things to make it work for X99 chipset or for those who are not on an X99 chipset. Here you can see if I open it, it will be apparently empty except these two files. One is EFI backup that is made by the Clover configurator, and the other is install OS X El Capitan. So what it is like my basic thing. If I start, what I will do is I will prefer you to upgrade your installer UEFI to the latest version. Right here, let's go to next, customize. So what you have to do is I think you have to change the location first. Yeah, change the location to El Capitan. Here you can see I selected this. Continue with customize. So in here, what we will do is we will add some of the 64 UEFI drivers. Let me make it in the center. So let's make it bigger. So here, the first thing is you don't need both of them. If you use both of them, it might cause you an error. CSM video DXE is used on some of the motherboard which does not support some of the GUI system of Clover, so it is not basically recommended. It is not here present. What it is like, it's an HFS plus file which is compulsory to for Clover to load the GUID system on an HFS partition, which is an OS X extended stuff. So what you have to do is you install RC on the target volume. You can here see that the target volume must be a bootable OS X system volume. So let's go back and we will install the latest version on that stuff on our installer. Once it's on the latest version, we will open our Clover configurator from here. From here, we'll go to the mount EFI partitions area. We'll check our partition, and here you can see it's here. We will mount it. It's the third one. It's already mounted. Sorry to tell you. It was just to explain you. And we will go to ACP. We will go to home, and here you can see it's the config in EFI Clover. We will open it. So once it's open, you can see there is nothing filled except that dot is equals to 0, 0x0 and 1 disable drivers, and few of the basic stuff, graphics. And here you can see if you are on an X99 chipset, you have to patch your CPU kernel. This is for those who are on an X99 chipset, kernel Haswell E. We click it. You can, for those who are on X99 chipset, I don't know what if this will cause any error, but it is kernel power management. I think you should turn it on if you are on a ASUS motherboard as I am on it. So you should click it as well. ASUS AICPU power management and Apple RTC. So we'll go to RT BIOS. Here it is added by default. This is to disable the SPI system of El Capitan, boot config 0x28 and CSR active config. If you are having an error loading your Kext, you can change it to 4, or you can change it to I think 68. I have noted it before. So let's see which different models we can use. Yeah, 0x28, and here it is. Oh, I thought I just missed it. So now we go to SM BIOS, and here we come in ACIP. if you are having an error for your multiplier or the speed steps, you can add them here before you start your installer. Generate P states, C states. This will improve the performance specifically for X99 chipset. I have tried it. It helps a lot. For those who are on X99 chipset, it is recommended that you use I think it's Kext/dev/mode is equals to 1 and rootless is equals to 0. It is recommended for all of the user, but I think it is really helpful for all types of motherboard, X99 or not. So dot is equals to 0, it is required for my CPU, my motherboard. It might not be required for yours. Some people use slide is equals to 0, it helps. Some people use npc I is equals to 0x2000. It is required for those who are using a discrete graphic card, and sometimes it is not required as I'm using a discrete graphic card. It depends wholly on your configuration, on your stuff, on your motherboard and the rest. So in GUI, if you're using a display width which is not a 1080p, you can switch it down to your one, so it does not cause any error while you are in GUI of a Clover. So let's go back, and here if inject Intel, for those who are on an X99 chipset, do remove this because you does not have an built-in NVIDIA Intel graphics. And that's it for those on X99. Do make this. That's for the Clover configurator. We save it. Now what you have to do is you have to open your UEFI Clover, and in here Kext you see 10.1. I have added a link for all of the Kext I have been using for an X99 chipset. I've been using for those who are not on an X99 and those dudes who are on X99. We turn it up, we go here. Here you can see the most basic things and the best thing of Clover. It adds Kext on the fly. You means you have to add it in its UEFI and it will patch it to the extensions when it starts. So for those, specifically for those who are on an X99 chipset, you have to add this Voodoo TSC sync. You open it, and here for those who are on 4 cores, 6 cores or 8 cores, choose the one which suits your core system. Alright, this is an application, it's a packager. If you open it, continue, change the location to your installer, and it will definitely install in the it will install in the El Capitan. So you have to install it there. Once it's in the extension folder, close. So for example, I have installed the 4.1. What you have to do is you have to open El Capitan. I don't know if you know how to make hidden files visible, but this disk utility, desktop utility, helps a lot. We turn to show invisible files. Now we open El Capitan, we make it larger, we go to system, we go to library. Here you can see extensions. We open extensions. So again, you can't find anything. I think it's somewhere else. So wait a second, किधर चला गया? What the fuck? Sorry guys, due to some like it was because my hard disk is a slow model, like slow read and write, that what was not displaying the hidden file so quick. So here you can see all of the extensions are hidden, and the one we just installed is not hidden. It's like it's not the invisible one, but others are invisible. We are in the extension folder. How you go there is really easy if you use some jumping method. What you have to do is you have to go Command Shift and G, Command Shift and G, Systems Library Extension, press enter, and you are here. From here you have to copy all of the text you have installed there. So let me show you how you do it. So this is my UEFI 10.11. We copy that Voodoo for those who are on X99 chipset. For those who are not on X99 chipset, please do not use this one. We open the Kext, we go for X99 dudes. So you put your Ethernet one. You can see the which one you are using. Apple Intel E1000, Apple RTL, and any of it. For example, I'm using this one. I just continue, change installation location, El Capitan, continue, install. 786. Oh, here it goes. We close it, and here it is. Now you just copy it into El Capitan. Same for any of the Kext, which is for the most important, the fake SMC. Do not miss the fake SMC. We install. This is hardware monitor. First thing you have to install is fake SMC itself. Here we go. Install. Change location. El Capitan. Install. Each of the package is separate, individual, because to prevent any of the error while downloading, or if someone does not need specific Kext, so they can be easy to go. So when you have installed, and remember that fake SMC is by itself one thing, and fake SMC plugins or Kext subfolders that are installed in fake SMC by itself. If you are wondering where the second one goes, it goes inside the fake SMC. So once it's done, you copy it into El Capitan UEFI. So here we go. Now the sound one. I think it is an Intel X99 Apple HD patch. For those who think their ALC 1150 will work, they can first patch it and then install Apple HD 1150, or they can directly go for Voodoo HDA. SPDF does not work with Voodoo. USB 3.0 fix, you can install it before you go for your El Capitan, so it works in your installer as well. So here we go, we put it here as well. I've checked it. My USB 3.0 works in the installer with the I don't need to use a USB 2.0 for the booting, but maybe your one's is a different one and it does not work. For X99 chipset, I think it is compulsory to use an AHCI third-party set. For those who are not on an X99 chipset, please do not use it. So here I go, I install it, install, and a safe password to enter. Done. We go back. Yeah. One other thing to note is that for those who are on an X99 chipset, there has been a kernel patch they have to add. This one is for Yosemite. It is not for El Capitan. I have not checked it on El Capitan because my one works with Clover patch. The Clover patch, which is somewhere here in kernels and Kext patches. Kernel has well E. So El Capitan works with it as well. So if it does not work, you can give a try with this patch. If I'm not sure it's gonna work or not, what you have to do is I have added the link in the description for this kernel patch. What you have to do is you have to change the volume name to the volume name you have given. I have given L Capitan without space. Space is crucial. If you give space in here, it will not accept. What you have to do is you have to copy this one by one. Copy this, open terminal, add here, and it will patch it. If you press enter, it will patch it. Mine's work without this, so I'm not using it. Once it's done, you have to add your password because it is a pseudo code, and then you have to do the same with this one. This time it will not ask for a password. So let's go there. We have, for those who are on X99 chipset, again they need null CPU power management for full performance for their CPU. I don't know full does mean 95%, 98% or 100%, but it greatly improves the speed. You have to use C states and P states with this. And for those who are not on an X99 chipset or are confused if their CPUs is natively supported by Apple, they can still add this. My system works same with this or without this. If I add this, performance is same. Without, if I remove it, performance same. No big difference. We go to do, and here is a special gift for those who have an X99 chipset and for those who are not on an X99 chipset with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.0 and Wi-Fi. This model is BCM4352, and there is a description how to make it to work on a Hackintosh. I think all of the things are covered, and I hope I have covered each of everything. I hope I have made it enough easy for those who have been trying for the first time, and for those who are pros. If you find any mistake in my procedure, do add a comment, tell me, I will try to improve. If you like my video, do comment, do share it, and tell others to like it as well. If it helps, you can help me as well by sharing my video and liking it. So this is all you need. Oh, and I forgot to tell one thing. Kext Utility. This is for El Capitan specifically. If I just add the code, it will start doing the stuff. Here you can see it have detected that the system is on a OS X El Capitan. So once you have booted it and you're trying to use different stuff and other stuff, it doesn't work, you can use this Kext Utility. I got an error with the multi-beast usually. You can see the error as well. I don't know why it's not working on El Capitan, but it is a stupid, really stupid error. Like if I try to install fake SMC, I go install agree, I press 7868. Oh, it's not, and I enter, it just close. This is the main problem I have having on multi-piece. So that's why I use the Kext patches available separately, or else you can have all of them in a single file, single application from Tony Mac or Hackintosh Zone or from Yosemite Zone or from Insanely Mac. Anywhere you can get these Kext for free. So let's turn shutdown and boot into El Capitan user interface installer. Thanks to watching till now. Let's proceed. Alright guys, let's turn on the system. So as you know, we cannot make a screen video while we are in BIOS. So you can see I'm using an ASUS motherboard. Most of the Tony Mac and other guides tell that ASUS motherboard is not that much compatible with all that stuff, but still I'm getting. The only error I'm having is this stupid error that makes UEFI repeat so much times. Like here it's my SSD, it's repeated like 3 times, and here it is my hard drive, and there is no name except the size of the hard drive. So I press enter and it will lead me to the BIOS, not the BIOS, the UEFI BIOS of that club. Now you can see it's my boot Mac OS X from OS X, and it's my boot recovery HD, and here it's boot from El Capitan. And we go to options, we see which Kext we are using. We are using slide is equals to 0, dot is equals to 0, Kext /dev /mode is equals to 0. The slide is equals to 0 is useless for me, but still I'm using. Doesn't matter. It might affect yours. It might affect anyone else with X99 or without X99. So be careful using. The most important ones are dot is equals to 0, Kext /dev /mode is equals to 1, rootless is equals to 0. We go to DSDT mask. You can see nothing is here. And remember, if you just try to make your sound works out of the box, it never works that way. If you add fixed sound, it will give you a kernel panic and you will be thinking what's wrong. We go to return and we press enter. Here it's the loading El Capitan for the first time. Now let it wait. Hope it gets quick. You can see how old hard drive I'm using. This one is the oldest hard drive I ever had. I'm using it. I got my SSD burned few days ago, just crapped out without any reason. I just hate Samsung for this. It's, I think I bought it like 3 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks, like 3 months ago or so. It was used one, so I never blame so much. Here is my another system. It's an Intel Core i5 processor and it's Z97 Pro Gamer motherboard. It's an Z97 chipset. So here we are in our installer for El Capitan. Oh yeah, it does this twice. Now this time it has loaded with the default resolution of my monitor, which is 1920 by 1200. We use the mouse. We go to use English for the main language. We continue. And here we are in OS X install. We continue and we agree with Apple because Apple agrees with us. That was a joke. Here you can see we can't install in here, not here, not here. This is where I have already installed my OS X. I'm not going to touch it. We go to disk utility, and let me focus. We open it. And remember, if you are on Chimera on a legacy motherboard, do not try to open system information. It will halt, it will stuck, and you have to restart your system. That's specifically for those who are on legacy. Disk utility, and here you can see it's an hard drive. You can, from here, you can just format your drive. Dang, if I do it, I lost my data. We go back, we click on OS X, we press continue, and I hope everything will work fine and each system will work. I've just turned off my other monitor so I get the main display on this HD display. And sometimes I have noted that if you are using a VGA or an analog system for your display, it causes an error and it might cause a kernel panic. So what I will recommend is use an HDMI or a DVI for the first of the times. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys like. Please subscribe my channel if this works for you. Gives me a thumbs up so I know how well I did. Gives me a thumbs down if you did not like my video. It's fair rule. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Do comment if you have any question. Talk to you in the next video. Peace.